Hey, what's good, MMA? I definitely pulled up to work thinking that I had work today, but I don't. So I just figured maybe I'd just start yapping. Let's talk about these fouls, dude. Another fight ends with an eye poke, you know what I'm saying, or, a no contest, or just a bad result ending because of an eye poke, or it's not even just the eye pokes, it's beyond the eye pokes, it's the fouling. Like, we've had so many fights this year be messed up with eye pokes, like I mentioned, but also like fucking Kevin Holland the other day just got his nuts kicked. It wasn't it on the it was on the same card as it was the Drew Dober fight, and Drew Dober, he got the point deducted, which was like rare. Thankfully he got a point deducted, but even then, like, all it did was result in the dude not being able to like realistically defend himself to his best ability because he was crippled by, the low blow. Like, all these referees, they should know what it's like to get kicked down there. So the fact that bro is still just put out there to defend himself, I don't know, man. Like, these referees, they need to like get better at like calling the fouls and like punishing them, because to me, coming from basketball, you don't get rewarded with fouling. You get punished, and the player that gets fouled and the team that gets fouled, they get rewarded. It's backwards in UFC. Like, UFC is just like terrible about handling foul calls, and Dana White doesn't give a fat fuck. I mean, he doesn't care about a lot of things but money, if we're being real. But and Donald Trump. But I say all that to say, somebody has to start being, kind of a leader with this. Somebody has to make the changes, bro, because they're not going to change the gloves. How many times in a card do you see people hooking gloves? Like, no point deduction, people grabbing onto fences, no point deduction. No, all they get is they get a hard warning, a stern warning, and then one more good warning, and then they might get a point deduction eventually. But it's like, referees, they need to start like enforcing, man. Like, I've heard referees say things along the lines of, don't make me have to, be a part of the fight or interrupt the fight. But it's not interrupting the fight, bro. You're the referee. You're supposed to ref the fight. So if repping the fight just means that if you got to take a point every now and then because somebody's, constantly fouling, if you have to, give a warning because, hey, you fins grabbed, but it wasn't really changing the fight necessarily or making an impact one way or another. But that's your only warning. Your very next foul, if you kick somebody in the cup, that's an automatic point deduction. Even honestly, and if it's a good enough kick, regardless, it should be a point deduction. But it shouldn't be, oh, you kicked him right here in the balls. Okay, that's your first warning. Oh wait, not. Now you have another first warning because you only grabbed the cage. Oh, now here's your first warning for the hooking. Oh, and then here's your first warning for hitting him in the back of the head. Like, what? How many first warnings do we get? It just doesn't make any sense. And then they say they don't want to interrupt the fight or anything, or they don't want to, have to interact with the fighters, and they want the fighters to just fight on. But at the same time, you're ruining the sport by not holding them to the rules. Because if that's the case, like,
hard work.
I've been thinking it for the longest time. Why not start a fight just poking somebody in the eyes? Most fighters that get eye poked, they go about losing like almost immediately after, or maybe not immediately after, but they're compromised for the rest of the fight. My favorite fighter, Izzy, he's fucking getting slept, but he got TKO'd, and it was a great shot by Imavov, but he's also another consistent fouler, and he ended up poking Izzy in the eyes, which, I mean, I think Izzy was going in for a strike. I think he punched him to the body or something, and Imavov's like, outreached his hands, which that should be a point deduction if you ask me. But, Izzy was trying to, push through it and then immediately get slept right after. Not saying like that wouldn't have happened without the eye poke, but yeah. Yeah, but that should have at least been like past the warning. That should be a point deduction, or I don't know. it's weird because, you know, fighters are always gonna do what fighters are gonna do. There's some that are just gonna push through. There's some that are gonna see it from another perspective of, I need to, you know, make sure I'm taking care of myself and my best interest, and I need to preserve myself as a prize fighter, which, I mean, why not? Because you're not being protected by the referees. Quite frankly, the other day, I meant to say that Tom Aspinall took the way out. He like, you know, he took a way out of the fight. And that's not even bashing Tom Aspinall, bro. Like, I don't blame him. Like, why would you want to keep fighting if you can't see out of your eye against a striker who's the best striker that you faced? Your nose is already marked up. You know, you're doing good. There is a back and forth fight, but, you know, he is kind of ahead, like barely, but he's ahead. And now you can't see. Showtime.
What?
What the fuck? This motherfucker got a little, I don't even know what that shit is. Like a parachute. He's like doing the thing with the parachute with the water. Okay. But yeah, I don't blame Tom Aspinall for cause like, bro, you can't see, you're busted up, and on top of that, like, now you don't have there's no point deduction. He gets his very first hard warning, or I don't even think he was at the hard warning yet. I think he was at the stern warning. So that's like a level 2, level 1 warning. First you get the warning, then you get the stern warning, and then you get the hard warning, and then you might get a point deduction. Well, you know, that it all depends on your referee. That wasn't, like, what's that gonna do? Like, now you can't see, and I mean, not saying he would have got finished or anything, or he would have lost, but now that percentage chance that was already weighing against him once he got the eye poke, now that comes into effect because, bro, he's had a higher likelihood to lose now. And as a champion, why would you do that? Tom Aspinall can very well win the rematch, and like, I don't like I picked him going in. I'm probably gonna pick him in the rematch, but I bet in his mind he knows he can win that fight. But why would he do that at a disadvantage? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So fucking Anthony Smith, UFC in general, they're all trying to, I don't know if they're trying to guilt trip Aspinall for like not fighting through, like, one having his eye poked. But no, we should be talking about, why are we not coming down on fouling? Why is it that in other sports, you know, basketball for an example, if I go to the rim and I'm getting fouled, the referee's gonna
oh boy! Now's my chance! No, stay back!
If there's contact and a good enough contact, is it paragliding? I think it's called paragliding. No. That's what that guy is doing. I hope that's what it is, paragliding. It's a really nice day. But if I'm going to the rim and I get hit, like, I'm going to the free throw line, I have the opportunity. It's not a guarantee, but it's an opportunity for me to put 2 points up on the board for my team, 1 more if I scored it and won. On top of that, not only do I get rewarded, but my team gets rewarded, because the opposing team, that's a +1 on their team fouls. And you only get a certain amount of team fouls until you get, at that point, once you're put into the bonus, everybody that gets fouled on your team, even if they're not shooting, if they have the ball and they're getting hit in the hand, that's automatic free throws. That's an advantage. That's why you don't commit fouls. If you foul too much, your coach is gonna pull you, because you're putting your team at a disadvantage. If you can't play defense without fouling, you're putting your team at a disadvantage. If you can't fight without fouling, that should be putting you at a disadvantage. If you are hurting your opponent, like, outside of the rules, low blows, eye pokes, anything of that sort, hitting somebody in the back of the head should be an automatic disqualification. Automatic disqualification. That can kill somebody, bro.
Shots, a hammer fist to the back of the head, and then drops in and follows up.
Absolutely deadly.
Cyril gone? I ain't done with you. I've seen him wreck people with back of the head shots and finish people with the back of the head shots before. Although I personally don't think that he intentionally poked Tom Aspinall in the eyes and it was an accidental foul. If I go up and accidentally knock somebody across their head when they're trying to take a layup, and I knock them in their shit and they're bleeding, I mean, for one, that's we're going past a foul. That's a fucking flagrant foul. That has the opportunity for me to possibly be kicked out of the game if it's a flagrant 2. If I knock this dude unconscious while we're in the air, it's accidental, but I fucked him up. I'm sorry, bro, that's an ejection. Or either that or it's a flagrant 1. That should be like a severe foul. So should getting your eye fucking gouged out. Or getting hit in the back of the head. Like, that should be an automatic ejection. That should be automatically, you're cooked, you're out of here, fight's over. If we're gonna end the fight because of a foul, let's do it the right way. Henry Cejudo versus Song Yadong. I never really have been a huge Henry Cejudo fan. I think I picked Song Yadong to win that fight. So I was rooting for Song in that fight just because, you know, I was like, I'm trying to pick the right one. And Song poked the dude in the eye. I don't even remember like exactly how many, I don't know if it was 1 or 2 times. But it was to the point where Henry could not see. You know, there's no point deduction. So in Henry's mind, and I feel like he even mentioned...
No, get away!
This motherfucker's paragliding and shit. Even low-key flexing. Like,
yup, that's me.
There, like,
wrong as fuck.
like,
Confidently. Wrong as fuck.
I don't know. I don't even know if I can see. Henry Cejudo could not see. And I feel like he was even asking, like, if the ref was going to take a point or anything. And I think it was Herzog. I don't know. But whoever the referee was, they, you know, were trying to act like they were being due diligent about figuring out the problem and how they're going to fix it, da-da-da-da-da. And Henry's, you know, he gets the whole, I believe he got the whole 5 minutes to decide if he was going to keep fighting or whatever. And he ended up continuing to fight. And, you know, he's getting booed. After that, he said he couldn't see, or he said he was seeing double or whatever. But he started, after, like, you visually can watch him start getting tagged a lot more. He started getting hit with more clean shots. You know, he's trying to evade, but he's getting hit. And he ended up losing the round. And I feel like, if I remember correctly, the fight was a little competitive. I think Song was winning, but the fight was competitive. And he ended up fucking, you know, continuing to say he couldn't see. And rightfully, he couldn't see, he didn't want to get hurt. Like, I don't blame him. Like, you can't see against like one of the most powerful punchers in your division, and you know, you're somebody that relies on your movement. You rely on your sight, you know, you rely on your reaction time. I mean, he's seeing double, he's getting cracked now. That should have, I don't know if it should have been an automatic point deduction or if it should have been a disqualification, but that's the 2 options that we should have been through, because either that or it should have just been a no contest. If that's the way that we're going, there's no way Henry Cejudo should lose because he can't see. And not even because it was a punch. He couldn't see because he got fouled. I kind of say all that to say, like, I think it's just kind of fucked up how we have a UFC president or promoter, I don't even know what the fuck Dana White does, but we have somebody that clearly doesn't care about making changes. And, you know, who was it, Jim Miller? He was saying something about it should be automatic money loss from their purse or whatever, and it should be an automatic loss or disqualification. That would change a lot. It would. That would be better than, you know, Dana White saying, like, there's nothing that we could do about it, or like, what are you gonna do, or who cares?
What does it take to make an eye poke intentional, and is there even a way you could ever prove that?
Who the knows? Who gives it? I can't make people fight, right? If I want to put together a fight, I can't make people fight. And you definitely can't make somebody continue if they feel they've been injured. Only Tom knows what happened. You know, could he see, couldn't he see, could he continue? Only he knows that. I mean, he had Tom bloodied up. And
I forgot what he said, but it was something stupid. And I was like, bro, like, that's so lousy. Like, it's pathetic. I don't even know what the point is. Like, I'm making a video about it or talking about it. Like, a lot of people are talking about it. Maybe it'll make a change if, you know, enough people say something about it. But, like, it's getting ridiculous. And it's ruining the sport, quite frankly. And honestly, we need people that care about the product more than the money. But that's a topic for another day. Please.
Did he fall?
His parachute, I feel like he fell because his parachute is like in the water now. He's right there.
Look like you're having a good time though. Good for you.
Yeah, that's kind of all I had for today. Or like we were talking about a little bit in the last video. We do have some slop coming up, Apex slop. It's not like it's a bad fight, Onama versus Garcia. It's Bonfim and Brandy Brown. See, those aren't bad fights, but why the fuck is it a main event? Like I don't get it. Main event? Who's trying to watch 5 rounds of that shit? And it's not even like, if it's a great fight, amazing. But I'd rather watch like fights that for 5 rounds. If I'm gonna watch a 5-round fight, I want to see fighters that are in the top 10 to top 5 range competing for a top spot. That should be who's on a main event. Randy Brown, I like Randy Brown, but like main eventing against Gabriel Bonfim. I don't even think Bonfim beat Wonderboy, if we're being real. I think Wonderboy got robbed. And now he's main eventing against Randy Brown. In 2025, bro, like, what are we doing? What are we doing, bro? We need new matchmakers. We need new presidents in the UFC. We need new presidents. We just need we need to make some changes around this bitch, like, in general. But we can start with the UFC. All right. Well, y'all like and subscribe. Do what y'all do. Have a great day. Be blessed and take care.
Okay, bye.